Aiden stepped off the shuttle and felt the smooth stones of the city under his boots. He had traveled far from Earth, following whispers of a legendary bathhouse said to exist in the heart of this alien city. It was famous not only for its beauty but also for the way it healed the body and soothed the mind. Aiden had heard tales from travelers who spoke of marble walls that seemed alive, pools that shimmered with gentle light, and a calm that stayed with visitors long after they left. The city was unlike anything he had ever seen. Towers of crystal and steel glinted under the twin suns, but it was the bathhouse that drew him most. Its entrance was carved from white marble, its surface smooth and cool even under the warm light. Steam curled out of its arches like smoke from a fire, inviting and mysterious. As Aiden stepped inside, the scent of water and faint flowers filled the air, and a soft, warm mist embraced him. Inside, the bathhouse was enormous. Pools of different sizes were scattered throughout, each glowing faintly with colored lights from beneath the water. The walls were carved with intricate designs, showing stories of the city's history, its people, and its traditions. Aiden's eyes widened with wonder. It was more beautiful than he had imagined. He could hear soft laughter, gentle splashes, and the quiet conversations of visitors who were clearly relaxed and happy. Aiden removed his travel cloak and followed a path lined with smooth marble tiles. His eyes caught movement in one of the pools. A figure floated gracefully in the water, surrounded by a soft shimmer. She had delicate features, her skin glowed faintly, and her hair moved like liquid silk in the water. Aiden's heart gave a small jolt. He had not expected to meet anyone so calm and serene. Her eyes, when they briefly met his, seemed to hold a story he wanted to know. Myra, the alien diplomat, noticed the newcomer. She had been visiting the bathhouse for many years, but rarely did a visitor seem so interested in the details of the place. She studied Aiden quietly, noting his curious gaze as he examined the carvings, the pools, and the way the light touched everything. There was something gentle in his movements, a calm curiosity that matched the peace of the bathhouse. Aiden walked closer to the pool she was near, careful not to startle anyone. "Excuse me," he said softly. "Is this place open to everyone?" Myra smiled, a small, polite curve of her lips. "Yes, it is," she replied in clear, melodic tones. "It is a place for anyone who wishes to rest, to think, or to heal." "Thank you," Aiden said, nodding. "I've heard stories about this place. People say it can calm the mind, even change the way you see things." "It can," Myra said, glancing at the water. "But it only works if you are open to it. The bathhouse reflects your thoughts and your feelings. It does not force anything upon you." Aiden considered her words as he looked around. He could feel a strange warmth in his chest, a combination of excitement and serenity. He had been traveling for weeks, always moving, always searching. And now, here in the marble bathhouse, he felt a sense of stillness he had not known for years. They spoke a little more, sharing small stories about their travels and their favorite places in the city. Myra was graceful and intelligent, but she laughed easily when Aiden told a clumsy story about nearly slipping on the marble steps outside. For a moment, the world outside the bathhouse seemed far away. It was just the two of them, and the quiet water, and the soft light that seemed to make every detail sharper, more alive. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting gentle beams through the tall windows, Aiden realized he did not want to leave this place, or this moment. Myra, too, felt a subtle connection she had not expected. Their eyes met again, longer this time, and a quiet understanding passed between them. The bathhouse was more than just marble and water. It was a place where curiosity, calm, and chance could meet. And for Aidan and Myra, it was the start of something neither of them fully understood yet but both felt deeply. Aidan smiled as he stepped away from the pool to explore further, and Myra watched him with interest. Perhaps this visitor from another world would bring new stories, new laughter, and a new kind of connection into her life. The marble walls, silent and timeless, seemed to hold their secret, waiting to see what would happen next. The next morning, Aidan woke with a sense of anticipation he had not felt in a long time. The memory of the bathhouse, the warm water, and Myra's calm presence lingered in his mind. He decided to return, eager to explore more of the place and to see if he would encounter the mysterious diplomat again. As he entered the marble hall, the soft glow of the pools welcomed him like an old friend. The air was warm, carrying the faint scent of flowers and minerals. Aidan moved slowly, letting his eyes wander over the intricate carvings and smooth surfaces. Every detail seemed alive. The patterns in the marble told stories of generations, of journeys, and of the people who had sought peace within these walls. Aidan approached a larger pool in the center, its water reflecting the high ceiling like a mirror. He felt the gentle ripple as he dipped his hand in, marveling at the softness of the water. A quiet voice made him turn. "Returning so soon?" Myra stood at the edge of the pool, her expression gentle but amused. The sunlight streaming through the tall windows highlighted the glow of her skin, making her seem even more serene than yesterday. "I wanted to see it again," Aidan admitted, smiling. "And, maybe see you too." Myra tilted her head slightly, her smile widening. "I am glad you came," she said. "Not everyone returns so quickly. Some fear the calm here. Others simply cannot understand it." Aidan chuckled. "I think I understand a little. But maybe I want to understand more." She nodded, stepping closer. "Then perhaps we can explore together. There are many parts of the bathhouse that most visitors never see." They walked along the marble paths, moving between smaller pools and quiet chambers. Some were warm and shallow, perfect for resting, while others had cool, deep water that shimmered like liquid glass. Aidan noticed the way Myra moved, graceful and sure, as if she belonged to this place entirely. He felt a mixture of admiration and curiosity. "Why do you come here so often?" he asked. Myra paused, looking into the water. "It is a place of reflection. A place to calm my mind and remember who I am. Life outside can be very demanding. Here, I find balance." Aidan nodded. He understood that feeling more than he expected. His own life had been a series of plans, deadlines, and expectations. The bathhouse offered something he had not realized he needed: space to simply be. As they walked, they found a smaller, more secluded pool tucked away behind a carved archway. Steam rose gently from its surface, creating a soft haze that made the room feel private and hidden. Aidan and Myra settled at the edge, letting their feet trail in the warm water. "I like this part," Aidan said softly. "It feels quiet. Safe." Myra glanced at him, her eyes meeting his with a hint of amusement. "It is meant to feel that way. Only those who seek it find it." They talked for hours, sharing stories of their lives. Aidan told Myra about his travels, the places he had seen, and the lessons he had learned. Myra spoke of her work as a diplomat, her responsibilities, and the challenges of negotiating between worlds. They laughed at small misadventures and shared quiet reflections about their hopes for the future. The hours passed unnoticed. The sunlight shifted, casting patterns through the carved windows, and the bathhouse seemed to change with them. The water reflected their faces, and Aiden realized how much he enjoyed Myra's company. There was a comfort in speaking with her, a sense that he could be himself without judgment. Myra noticed the change in his expression, a quiet warmth that came from shared understanding. She felt a connection growing, subtle but undeniable. This was more than curiosity or politeness, there was an interest that both felt but neither rushed to define. Finally, the soft bells of the bathhouse signaled that the afternoon visitors were leaving. Aiden and Myra rose from the water, dripping slightly but smiling. "Thank you for sharing this with me," Aiden said. I feel different here. Calmer. Happier." Myra's smile softened. "That is the gift of the bathhouse," she said. "But perhaps, in your case, it is also the gift of friendship, or something more." Aiden's heart skipped. He was not sure what something more meant yet, but he felt it. And Myra, standing beside him, seemed to feel it too. As they left the pool and walked through the marble corridors, the bathhouse remained around them, silent and eternal. It was a place of reflection, yes, but also a place where connections could begin. And for Aiden and Myra, it was becoming a place where curiosity, kindness, and a gentle spark of attraction started to grow into something neither of them had expected. Aiden and Myra returned to the bathhouse the following morning. The sunlight streamed through the tall marble windows, and the pools reflected soft beams of gold and silver. Today felt different, there was a quiet excitement in the air, as if the bathhouse itself was ready to share something new with them. As they moved through the corridors, Myra paused in front of a carved archway. "This is one of the less visited sections," she said, her voice soft but filled with curiosity. "It holds a series of challenges, tests of patience, courage, and thought. Few take them seriously, but they can teach a lot." Aiden raised an eyebrow. "Challenges? Like puzzles?" Myra smiled. "Yes, but also more. They are meant to test both the mind and the heart. Would you like to try them with me?" Aiden nodded. He felt a strange thrill. The bathhouse had already brought calm and reflection, but now it promised adventure. Together, they stepped into the archway and found themselves in a marble labyrinth. The walls were smooth and tall, carved with mysterious symbols that glowed faintly. Pools of water were scattered along the path, reflecting the light in ripples, and the air smelled faintly of herbs and minerals. The first challenge was simple yet clever. Aiden noticed that stepping stones in the water formed a pattern, but some were too shallow or too deep. They had to figure out the correct path together. Myra studied the symbols and whispered hints, while Aiden observed the stones and tested his steps carefully. "Here," Myra said, pointing to a series of markings. "They indicate the path. If we step where the symbols align, it should be safe." Aiden nodded and followed her guidance. Step by step, they moved through the pool, feeling the warm water swirl around their ankles. Occasionally, they laughed when one of them slipped slightly or nearly misstepped, the playful moments lightening the challenge. By the time they reached the other side, both felt a quiet sense of accomplishment and a growing trust in each other. The next chamber was darker, lit only by faint glowing crystals embedded in the walls. Aiden and Myra needed to solve a puzzle to unlock a door, a combination of memory, observation, and intuition. Each puzzle required them to communicate and share ideas. Sometimes Myra noticed details Aiden missed, and sometimes he found solutions that she had not considered. "It is easier with two minds," Myra said, smiling as she adjusted a small crystal to fit a pattern. Aiden laughed softly. "Yes, I agree. I might have been stuck here for hours alone." As they solved the puzzles and moved deeper into the labyrinth, the challenges grew more intricate. There were moments when they had to lean close to discuss strategies, whispering ideas in ways that made their hearts beat faster. The marble walls echoed their quiet laughter and murmurs, creating a sense of intimacy that neither expected. One of the final challenges was physical. Aiden and Myra had to cross a shallow pool where small jets of water periodically shot upward, threatening to knock them off balance. They held hands briefly, steadying each other, and discovered that working together was not only effective but comforting. Myra's calm presence balanced Aiden's occasional impulsiveness, and his steady encouragement helped her move with confidence. Finally, they reached a small chamber filled with still water. A soft light shimmered from the marble walls, and a quiet sense of peace replaced the excitement of the challenges. They sat at the edge of the pool, letting their feet trail in the warm water. Aiden looked at Myra, noticing how her hair shimmered in the light and how her eyes reflected both amusement and satisfaction. "You were amazing," Aiden said softly. "I never would have made it through some of those challenges without you." Myra smiled, her eyes gentle. "And I could not have done it without you either. You have patience and thoughtfulness. I like that about you." Aiden felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that the bond between them had grown stronger in just a few hours. It was more than curiosity or politeness now, it was respect, trust, and a quiet attraction that neither could ignore. The marble labyrinth, with its puzzles, pools, and glowing walls, had become more than a challenge. It had become a space where Aiden and Myra learned about each other, their strengths, their laughter, and their care for one another. As they left the chamber and returned to the main hall of the bathhouse, both felt a subtle, unspoken understanding. This was only the beginning of something meaningful. The sun cast long shadows across the pools, and the bathhouse seemed to hum softly, as if acknowledging the new connection formed within its walls. Aiden and Myra walked side by side, the quiet thrill of adventure replaced by a gentle warmth, knowing that they had discovered not only the secrets of the labyrinth but also a spark of something that could grow between them. The bathhouse was quiet that evening, almost empty. Aiden and Myra arrived as the last few visitors were leaving the marble corridors and pool serene and still. The soft glow from the water reflected on the walls, creating patterns that danced gently across the floor. The air was warm and fragrant, carrying the faint scent of minerals and flowers. Aiden paused at the edge of a large pool, letting his fingers trail in the water. "It's quieter now," he said, his voice soft. "Almost like we have the place to ourselves." Myra smiled, standing beside him. "Yes," she said. "The bathhouse changes with the time of day. In the evening, it becomes a place for reflection. It encourages quiet thoughts." Aiden nodded, feeling the calm settle over him. He had never felt anything like it, this quiet stillness, combined with the gentle presence of Myra nearby. He realized he wanted to stay in this moment for longer, to learn more about her, and perhaps to let her know a little about himself. They moved to a small, secluded pool tucked behind a marble archway. Steam rose softly from the water, making the air feel warm and intimate. Aiden and Myra sat at the edge, letting their feet float in the water. For a while, they simply watched the reflections on the surface, listening to the gentle lapping of water and the faint echo of distant steps. Finally, Aiden broke the silence. "Myra, may I ask you something?" "Of course," she said, turning to face him. "Why do you come here so often? I mean, I understand it's a bathhouse, but you seem connected to it in a way most visitors are not." Myra took a slow breath, looking at the water. "The bathhouse is more than a place to bathe or relax. It is a place to understand yourself. Outside, there are many duties, many expectations. Here, I can think clearly. I can reflect on my choices, my life, and sometimes, on my heart. Aiden felt a quiet warmth at her words. I think I understand, he said. I've been traveling for so long, always moving, always busy. But here, I feel calm. And safe. I feel like I can think without pressure. Myra looked at him, her eyes soft and thoughtful. That is why I think people return. Because the bathhouse does not force anything on you. It only gives you space to discover who you are and sometimes, who you could become. Aiden smiled. And who I could become, he repeated, a hint of curiosity in his voice. Myra's smile widened slightly. Yes. Even small connections, small moments of understanding, can change us. They lapsed into silence again, but it was comfortable this time, not awkward. Aiden felt the urge to share something personal, something he rarely spoke about. Myra, he began, sometimes I feel like I am searching for something. I'm not sure what it is. But when I am here, with you, it feels like maybe I'm a little closer to finding it. Myra's gaze softened. Perhaps what you are searching for is not a place, but a feeling. A quiet understanding, a connection that gives you strength. And maybe, you have found it, even if only a little. Aiden looked into her eyes, noticing the gentle warmth that mirrored his own feelings. There was no rush, no pressure, only a quiet honesty that made his heart beat steadily. He realized that Myra had become more than a passing encounter, she was someone who understood, who encouraged, who made the marble walls and warm water feel like home. For the next hour, they talked quietly, sharing stories about their families, their dreams, and small memories from their pasts. Myra spoke of the challenges of diplomacy, the long hours of negotiation, and the rare moments of true peace. Aiden shared tales of his travels, of mountains, oceans, and cities far from home. Each story built a bridge between them, strengthening the bond that had begun in curiosity and adventure. As the sun began to set outside, casting a warm glow through the marble windows, Aiden and Myra rose from the pool. Their feet dripped lightly on the stone floor, and the bathhouse seemed to hum softly around them, as if acknowledging the growing connection. Thank you for sharing this evening with me, Aiden said, a quiet sincerity in his voice. Myra smiled, a soft light in her eyes. And thank you for being here, she replied. Moments like this are rare. They should be cherished. They left the pool and walked side by side through the marble corridors, their hands brushing occasionally. There was no need for words, the connection was clear in the quiet comfort of their presence. The bathhouse had offered them calm, reflection, and trust, and now it had offered a space where a deeper understanding, and perhaps the beginnings of something more, could grow. For Aiden and Myra, the evening was not just a visit to a bathhouse. It was a turning point, a moment of reflection, laughter, and gentle closeness that neither would forget. The next day, Aiden found himself thinking about Myra even before leaving his small quarters. Her calm presence, her gentle smile, and the way she had listened to him the night before lingered in his mind. He walked through the bustling streets of the city, but his thoughts kept returning to the bathhouse. There was something about it and about her that made him feel alive in a way he hadn't felt for years. When he arrived at the marble doors, he saw Myra waiting near the entrance, her posture relaxed but graceful. She noticed him immediately and waved softly, her expression lighting up. Aiden's heart quickened. The brief exchange of glances and smiles was enough to make him feel both nervous and excited. "Good morning, Myra said, her voice calm and inviting. I wondered if you would come again today. Good morning, Aiden replied, smiling. I couldn't resist. The bathhouse, and well, I wanted to see you. Myra's lips curved into a subtle, warm smile. Then you are welcome. Today, I thought we could explore one of the pools that few visitors know about. It is quiet, and the water has a special quality. Some say it reflects not only your appearance, but your thoughts as well. Aiden's curiosity piqued. Reflects thoughts? He asked. Yes, Myra said, leading him through the polished corridors. It is not magic, exactly. It is more, perception. It allows you to see yourself clearly, and sometimes, to see what is important to you. When they arrived, the pool was smaller and tucked into a corner of the bathhouse. Steam rose gently from its surface, carrying a light fragrance of lavender and minerals. Aiden knelt at the edge, letting his hand trail through the water. It felt warm, almost comforting, and he could see the soft reflection of the marble ceiling above. Myra joined him, dipping her fingers lightly in the water. For a few moments, they were silent, simply enjoying the calm. Then Aiden spoke, his voice low. Myra. I feel like I am learning more about myself here. Not just because of the bathhouse, but because of you. Being around you, it feels right. Myra looked at him, her eyes softening. Aiden, I feel the same. When you are here, there is a sense of trust. A feeling that it is safe to be yourself. I have not felt this way with many people. Aiden smiled, feeling warmth spread through his chest. I didn't expect to feel this, not so soon. But I like it. I like being here with you. Myra's gaze dropped briefly to the water, then returned to him. I like it too, she admitted softly. It is strange how quickly someone can enter your thoughts and heart, yet it feels natural. They talked quietly about their feelings, not in words of grand declarations, but in honest, gentle admissions. Aiden shared how lonely he had felt traveling through distant worlds, how he had searched for meaning and connection. Myra spoke of her responsibilities as a diplomat, the loneliness that often came with duty, and the rare moments when she could let herself simply be. The pool reflected not only their faces but the soft emotions between them, the curiosity, the respect, and the quiet attraction that had grown since their first meeting. Aiden noticed the way Myra's eyes lit up when she smiled, the way her presence seemed to calm and inspire him at the same time. He realized he was not just drawn to her beauty, but to her mind, her kindness, and her strength. For a long while, they sat by the water, sharing stories and gentle laughter. Occasionally, their hands brushed, sending a small spark of warmth through both of them. Neither tried to rush the moment, instead, they allowed the connection to grow naturally, enjoying the subtle thrill of closeness. Finally, Aiden looked at Myra with a soft, sincere expression. I don't know what will happen after today, he said. But I do know that being here with you, it matters more to me than I expected. Myra's smile was tender, her eyes full of understanding. It matters to me too, she said. Perhaps this is only the beginning, of trust, of friendship, or maybe something more. Time will tell. They rose from the pool together, water dripping lightly from their fingers, and walked side by side through the marble halls. The bathhouse seemed to hum quietly around them, a silent witness to the growing bond between two hearts. The sun's rays fell softly through the windows, and the marble glowed warmly as if acknowledging the connection. As they stepped outside, Aiden felt a quiet hope. The bathhouse had given him calm, reflection, an adventure, but most of all, it had introduced him to Myra. And in her company, he had discovered a spark of something rare and precious, an attraction born of respect, kindness, and shared moments. For both of them, the day ended with a gentle certainty. This connection, nurtured in the quiet waters of the marble bathhouse, was only beginning. The next day, Aiden and Myra arrived at the bathhouse together, their footsteps echoing softly in the marble corridors. There was a gentle anticipation in the air, a quiet excitement that neither could fully explain. Myra led Aiden to a section of the bathhouse he had never seen before, a chamber known to few visitors as the mirror pool. "This pool is special," Myra explained, her voice calm and serious. "It shows not only your reflection, but also visions of desire and temptation. It is a test, meant to help you understand what truly matters to you. Some people find it difficult, even confusing, but it can also strengthen bonds if faced together." Aiden looked at the water, smooth and shimmering, and felt a strange thrill. "A test?" he asked. "What kind of test?" Myra smiled faintly. "It is different for everyone. It shows what you want most and challenges you to stay true to what is important. But you will not face it alone. We can face it together." They approached the edge of the pool, and Aiden peered into the water. At first, he only saw his own reflection, and then, slowly, the surface shifted. He saw images of himself achieving great success, fame, recognition, and accomplishments without Myra by his side. At first, it felt tempting. The thought of success, without distractions or responsibility, tugged at him. But then he noticed Myra beside him in the reflection, calm and steady, offering support and warmth. Aiden reached out instinctively, but the water's surface rippled, making the images shift. Myra placed a hand lightly on his arm. "Do not be distracted," she said softly. "What the pool shows is not always what is right for you. It shows desire, but we must choose what matters most." Aiden took a deep breath, focusing on the image of Myra. He realized that while success was tempting, it would feel empty without someone to share it with. He felt a quiet clarity. "You are right," he said. This is what matters to me." Myra smiled, her eyes reflecting pride and affection. "Good. That is the first step, recognizing what is truly important." Then Myra's reflection shifted. She saw visions of a life without duty, a life where she could abandon responsibilities and enjoy temporary pleasures without consequence. The vision was enticing, promising freedom and ease. She hesitated for a moment, then looked at Aiden standing beside her. His calm presence reminded her of the choices that mattered, the responsibility she had, the trust she had earned, and the genuine connection growing between them. Together, they reached out toward the pool, letting their reflections guide them. "We do not have to follow temptation alone," Myra said softly. "We can support each other." Aiden nodded. "Yes. Together." As they faced the shifting images, they realized that the test was not about avoiding desire entirely, but about understanding it and choosing what truly mattered. The pool reflected their thoughts, their courage, and their loyalty to each other. Each vision that appeared challenged them, but their support for one another gave them strength. Finally, the water stilled, and their reflections returned to normal. Aiden and Myra looked at each other, breathing softly, a quiet sense of accomplishment between them. They had faced temptation together and had remained true to what was important: their growing connection, trust, and mutual respect. "I feel stronger," Aiden said quietly. "Not just because I resisted the temptation, but because we did it together." Myra nodded, her smile gentle but full of warmth. Yes. The bathhouse gives us guidance, but it is our choices that matter. We chose wisely. They sat at the edge of the pool for a while, letting their feet float in the warm water. The silence was comfortable, filled with understanding and quiet admiration. Aiden noticed the subtle way Myra's hair shimmered in the soft light, and Myra noticed the calm determination in his eyes. They had shared a challenge that went beyond puzzles or physical tests. It had touched the heart and mind, strengthening the connection between them. Finally, they rose from the water, dripping lightly but smiling. They walked side by side through the marble corridors, their hands occasionally brushing. The bathhouse, in its quiet and timeless way, had witnessed their courage, their trust, and the deepening bond between two hearts. As they stepped into the fading light of the evening, Aiden realized that their connection was no longer just curiosity or admiration, it had become a quiet certainty. Myra's presence brought clarity, comfort, and hope. And for Myra, Aiden had become a source of calm, trust, and shared adventure. The mirror pool had tested them, but it had also revealed the strength of their feelings. Together, they had chosen each other over fleeting temptations, and the choice had deepened their bond in a way neither had anticipated. For Aiden and Myra, the day ended not only with triumph over the pool's illusions but with a quiet recognition: trust and understanding, nurtured together, could become the strongest foundation for the connection between two hearts. The sun had begun its slow descent, casting long golden beams through the tall marble windows of the bathhouse. Aiden and Myra arrived together, their footsteps soft against the smooth stone floors. The air was warm and fragrant, carrying the familiar sense of minerals and flowers. Today felt different, lighter, freer. The challenges were behind them, and the quiet reflection of the past days had deepened their connection. They walked slowly toward the main pool, its water shimmering under the sun's rays. Aiden glanced at Myra, noticing the calm glow in her eyes, the way her hair caught the light, and the gentle way she moved. He felt a quiet happiness swell inside him. He realized how much these moments with her had come to mean more than curiosity, more than amusement, more than adventure. Myra noticed Aiden's thoughtful expression. "You seem reflective today," she said, her voice soft. Aiden smiled. "I am," he admitted. "I've been thinking about everything: the bathhouse, the challenges, and us. I feel like something important has started here." Myra's lips curved into a gentle smile. "I feel it too," she said. "The bathhouse has guided us, but what we have now is our own. Our trust, our understanding, and something more." They approached a quiet corner of the pool, a small section where steam rose gently from the warm water. Aiden and Myra settled at the edge, letting their feet float lightly in the water. For a while, they simply watched the reflections: the golden light, the marble walls, and the soft shimmer of the water. The world outside seemed distant, unimportant. Aiden turned toward Myra, his expression sincere. "Myra, these past days have been different from anything I expected. I've learned about the bathhouse, yes, but I've also learned about myself. And about you. You've shown me patience, kindness, and a sense of calm I didn't know I needed." Myra's eyes softened. "And you've shown me curiosity, courage, and honesty," she replied. "Being with you has reminded me of the joy in small moments, the importance of trust, and how connections can grow quietly but deeply." For a long moment, they were silent, letting the words sink in. Then Aiden reached out and lightly brushed Myra's hand with his fingers. She responded by holding his hand gently. The warmth between them was quiet but undeniable. "I don't know what the future holds," Aiden said softly, "but I want to explore it, together, with you." Myra's smile was tender. "I would like that," she said. "We do not need to rush. We can take our time and see where this leads. But I am certain that I want you by my side." The bathhouse, timeless and serene, seemed to hold its breath around them. The marble walls reflected their connection, and the gentle pools mirrored not only their faces but the emotions that had grown between them. They shared stories quietly, laughed softly at small jokes, and spoke of their hopes and dreams. Each word, each glance, strengthened their bond. The challenges and reflections of the past days had shown them their strengths, their values, and their desires, and now, together, they could begin a new chapter with clarity and trust. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink, Aiden and Myra rose from the pool. Water dripped lightly from their hands as they walked through the marble corridors, side by side. Their steps were unhurried, their hearts calm yet full. Outside, the city glowed under the soft evening light. Aiden looked at Myra, feeling a quiet confidence. "I never imagined the bathhouse could change my life this much," he said. Myra laughed softly. "It is not just the bathhouse," she said. "It is the choices we made, and the moments we shared. That is what makes it meaningful." Aiden nodded. "And I hope we have many more moments like this," he said. Myra's eyes shone with warmth. "We will," she promised. They walked together under the alien sky, hands brushing, hearts open. The bathhouse remained behind them, a place of marble, water, and reflection, but its true gift had been the connection it helped them discover. They had faced challenges, temptation, and reflection, and emerged stronger together. For Aiden and Myra, the journey was only beginning. The marble bathhouse had been the stage for their meeting, the place where curiosity, trust, and understanding grew into affection. And now, stepping into the world beyond, they carried that bond with them, knowing that together, they could face any path, any challenge, and any adventure. The sun set fully, casting the city in soft shades of evening. Aiden and Myra walked quietly, side by side, hearts light and full of hope. The bathhouse, timeless and eternal, had witnessed the start of something beautiful, a connection built on trust, respect, and the quiet magic of shared moments. And for both of them, that was more than enough.